Hello, it's time for Laid Back with Betfair. I'm Tom Haylock with Miles Pfitzner this week. Miles, what a huge weekend. I said it was the biggest weekend in sport in the history of the world off air. It's always a massive weekend. I can't wait. Grand Final Saturday, but we've got 3 days of racing. We've got Friday night, Sunday at Sandown, and we've got the Golden Rose meeting at Rosehill on Saturday. Can't wait for all of that, and what a better way to spend it with you, mate. Public holiday Thursday.
Yeah, look, we can put that in the lay bin off the top, working on a public holiday. No, but Tommy, great to be here. Good to be back and nice to be sitting in the chair on this side, not having to do the host duties and follow it along.
How does it feel? Because you're usually on the other side of the fence with me on SEN. How does it feel?
I like this expert tag.
No, you fill in was the tag.
Oh, sorry. I thought
not the expert.
I thought you wanted me in as an expert, but no, I always love of coming in and talking to you. And yeah, huge week for sport just in general. Town's a buzz, but the racing's heating up with Moonee Valley, Sydney, Sandown Sunday. Not too sure about some of the racing on Saturday, but really looking forward to getting into a few features.
We'll start with Moonee Valley as we do, and huge Friday night meeting, rail in the true. Soft 7, I reckon. Beautiful day as we come to you on Thursday. It might be, will dry up throughout Thursday, but then a few showers around Friday. So I reckon it'll be on a 5 or a 6, depending on how much rain falls, Fitzy.
It's a bit like that in Melbourne and Sydney this week because there has been some weather patterns come through, and I think it's pretty important to note that you really need to get the weather on the day and doing your form. You probably need to be aware that it can deteriorate or could get wetter. So, look, I'm working on probably a soft 7 at the moment, but I do have plans in place if it does get a little bit wetter, especially for Sandown on Sunday.
Yeah, spot on. Well, let's get stuck into Moonee Valley Friday nights. We might duck over there after the SEN show, mate. We might head over to Moonee Valley, but
Betfair Edge Live.
Yes, 6 till 7. Tune in. Race 6, the JRA Cup. Group 3, non-conformist, the early scratching. We've got a good race. Great House, Macram, Desert Icon in the mix as well. Fitzy, who are you leaning to? I'm
leaning to a couple here and a couple that are reasonable outside of the favourite Great House. Desert Icon here for the Waller team. Superb win last start at Moonee Valley. I thought 55 kilos inside gate, beat the Perth Cup winner in Midnight Blue. The track and trip record's excellent and look, can handle the soft going. So pretty happy with Desert Icon. But one at value here too, Tommy, is Nerve Not Verve. And you got a horse here that's 3 from 5 track and trip. And I say this before to a lot of people, and I'll say it again, that when horses go to the valley and they like it, they grow a length and they grow a leg, and you have to respect that. Haydock, I always use as the example. He was always 2 lengths a better horse there. Nerve Not Verve clearly loves this track and trip, and when you've got a horse like that, you have to respect it. So they're the 2 that I'm going to be shopping around, probably late with Betfair. I think we'll get a late drift because the money will come for Great House.
Yeah, I think Great House is a horse to beat, and for that reason, my play of the race is to lay Macram. I think it's the lay in the race, this 6-year-old gelding. Obviously, beat home Great House last start, Fitzy, but a Great House ran 12.32, fastest final 200 metres of that race, quicker than Macram. Up to 20.40, I think, will suit Great House and meets 2.5 kilos better. So I think he can turn the tables. I think he's the horse to beat. My play of the race is to lay Macram, as I said. I give the other horse, Desert Icon, a chance as well in the race. I'm querying that form a little bit from Desert Icon's race last start, but I think if that's not the right form line, Desert Icon can beat Macram as well. So that's why I'm pretty keen to lay Macram in the race, number 7 there. But I've got Great House on top, mate.
Non-conformist was in that race up to its neck, but it's obviously going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now. Let's get to race 7, the Group 1 Moir Stakes. What a race it is. This is a fantastic sprint. Sprints don't get much better than this other than the top echelon races like the Everest. A lot of speed in this race, Fitzy. We've got Zoustyle working forward, Malkovich, Generation will kick up, Cool and Gutter from the inside, Rothfire, who won the lead up, and then you've got Maliva, Bella Nipotina drawn wide. There's a lot of pressure in the race. It's a really, really good race Friday night. We've got the rail in the true, as I said. It was in the true last time at Moonee Valley. It'll be chopped up. It'll play a bit more evenly. Which way are you leaning to in the Group 1 Moir?
A few chances here. I think really, really good race, and not one I'm going to be probably having a max stake bet in at all. I'm probably just a few nibbles on a few. Palali has to be respected, of course. First up record's elite. And look, they're letting the star go nice and early. Interesting with going straight into, first up into a Moir. I thought they might have gone somewhere else because I think this is probably the horse that they may take to the Everest, I think.
They've got the slot. They've got a couple of 3-year-olds as well now, obviously in secret, and a couple of them that might put the hand up on the back of backing up from a Golden Rose. So Palladi's got to make his case here if he wants a slot in the Everest.
Yeah, I just don't know whether or not the Valley's for it. I mean, track and trip, it's 1 from 1, but this might just be a little bit too hot. A few chances. Let's go down the bottom. We mentioned Coolangatta in a future show you and I did elsewhere, and Coolangatta from an inside draw gets in at the minimum here with 50 kilos, and I think this is a horse that I can put a line through last run. I thought it probably just did enough. I think if you're getting double figures about Coolangatta, you have to have a nibble there. Another one I want to touch on is the Inferno up the top, and I know you know a little bit about this horse, but that run at Moonee Valley last start, it wasn't that far off them, off Rothfire and Zoo Style. It had the inside draw, 58.5 kilos, and gets in here almost the same, but draws out a little bit wider. And I think with a second up record, like it does, 4 from 5, why we're getting around sort of $20 to $22 for the Inferno, crazy. So a couple of nibbles there. I think Palali has to go in your numbers, and look, maybe even a horse like Bella Nipotina that sort of after that last win and drawing a wider gate might be able to come over the top, but really, really good race. Happy to risk September run, extremely lucky. Maliva, Isotope, Zoo Style's probably the other one that can, but I don't think Rothfire, unless he's properly back, I don't think he can put 2 on the trot together.
Ooh, big call, big call. Yes, I got Palali on top tipping-wise, but the 2 bets for me in the race are the Inferno. I don't know why Rothfire is $5, the Inferno's $20. It makes no sense.
That doesn't.
It actually doesn't make any sense. Inferno ran 800, fastest 800, 600, 400 metres of that race last start. Behind Rothfire was a genuinely run tempo. They probably didn't go as fast as they think, but there'll be high pressure race again. He can get over the top of them. He ran second in this race last year behind Wild Ruler. He loves the Valley. He loves second up. He's $20. I think he can run a place here for sure.
Well, we align. Dangerous at a $20 pop.
We do. The other ones, you were against it. September Run. I love this horse's trial. Convinced she's back. And so I'm with 2 back markers. I don't want to go too hard. I think Palali's the horse they all have to beat. 1,000 metres fresh worries me a little bit. As you said, 1 from 1 at track and distance. That was on debut at Moonee Valley. Since then, Palali hasn't run over 1,000 metres, which is a little bit of a concern for me. He's had 16 starts since. So first time at 1,000 since debut. J-Mac on Barry 6, he gets all favours. Palali, he's got to be respected. But yeah, the 2 Tommy 2 player, the Inferno and September Run, the 2 for me. I think the Inferno is a stupid price if you line him up through Coolangatta, Rothfire. He was as good as those, if not better.
So I'm Inferno and Coolangatta with my 2 play, with Palali the one to beat. Why no Coolangatta? You against Coolangatta?
We'll need luck from barrier 1. It probably gets the right running behind the speed. Doesn't have to lead. I thought it was okay last start. I just want to see her do it again against the big boys. This race isn't easier than last start, I think. And yeah,
we've had the Moir on the Coolangattas my eyes just for a long time, and look, I might have a little stake in.
She's a chance.
Yeah.
She's a chance for sure. It's a high pressure race. I think it'll set it up for the 2 back markers. That's where I'm going.
Yep.
So the Inferno from September Run, Palali, clearly the horse to beat. I might have a little quinella there as well. Let's get to race 8, the Stock Stakes, the Group 2. Your favourite horse heads the market here, Kiss on All Four Cheeks. It is your favourite horse, isn't she?
It's a horse I like.
She's your favourite horse, I reckon. Kiss on All Four Cheeks. Mo'unga is probably the other one.
No.
You're off Mo'unga?
Unbelievable.
Which way are you heading or leaning to in the Stock Stakes? Your favourite mare?
Yeah, Shock Horror here. Kiss on All Four Cheeks. Superb last start.
I could have told you that.
Yeah, superb last start at Flemington. I think beat some horses in there that are actually pretty good and didn't really have much luck in running. Exploded late. I think from the 1,400 up to the 1,600 here, I just think has to be ridden like the best horse in the race here from Mark Zara. And I think the draw's perfect in 7. I mean, gets in at 57 kilos. And I mean, look, you're only 56.5 for Sonnery down the bottom. It meets them all at pretty well similar weight with a nice draw. It's just the best horse in the race. But it's just, and we said this last time, you've got to back the best. It drew 14 last start from a wide barrier, had no right to win that, but it was just the best horse in the race. Lines up again, best horse in the race, probably one of my better ones at Moonee Valley, wins.
Wow. Good case. Good case. Clearly the best horse in terms of handicap rating. So well into the weights with that weight for age scale, 170 handicap rating, carrying 57 kilos. You go to Barbie's Fox, who's a 79 handicap rater, or a Groovy Kind of Love, who's 75, carrying the same weight. So you just put a pen through them on weights and measures, even Skyhorse. you make a good point. She's clearly a very good horse. Now, she's yet to win beyond 1,500 metres from 3 attempts. She has run really well over 1,800 metres, though. So that was behind Regal Power and Western Empire in a Group 1 Kingston
which
Town.
is,
so that's pretty good form.
Which is a Group 1 race and against 2 genuine Group 1 horses.
Correct. She's flying. She meets 5 horses that she beat last start in this race and actually meets Lady of Honour and Foxy Frida better at the weights from that.
So you're talking yourself into it here.
But I think she's too short. I thought
everything you said's a positive.
I think she's too short. Now for the negatives. Daisies and Glint of Hope ran really good behind her last start. They actually meet her better at the weights. They will improve up to the 1,600 metres. They're both second up. So Kissing Off What Cheeks is now third up, whereas I think one of Daisies or Glint of Hope can improve more from first up to second up, so they've got much more improvement to come. Daisy's one from Run at the Valley, gets lane on Barry 2, gets all favours, hit the line well, slightly held up along the inside there. Glint of Hope's the other one that worked home really nicely down the outside. Got a lot of improvement. I just think Kiss on All Four Cheeks is too short. I'm not making her the lay of the day or anything, but she's too short for me.
Please do it.
And
please.
Daisies and Glint of Hopes can potentially give her a challenge. So I won't be diving in Kiss on All Four Cheeks at the price, mate.
When we get to the education bit a little bit later, one of the things for spring
You're going to give me a lesson, are you?
No, I just think one of the things for spring, and I'm guilty of it, is you find horses and for some reason you go against horses in races because you're trying to find more value or something. If you find the best horse in the race and you can't make too many excuses, just back them. You just got to back the best horses.
Yeah, but that said, it's all about price, and if you can set your own odds, you can put up a price, and if it drifts, you can back at the same point.
You can do it all on Betfair.
That's the beauty of Betfair.
But you're going to get better than 240 back Kiss on All Four Cheeks on Betfair.
You're very worked up today, and now it's time for the lay bin.
Because it's a public holiday.
Time for the lay bin. Now, where do you want? Do you want me to start, or do you want to come off the long run?
I'm just going to. You can go, and then
you stormed in from wherever you come from into the studio today, very angry. As you said to me, you put the ball in your right hand, you were shining it in the run up.
Yeah, DK Willie style.
Coming off the long run, but I'm putting Salts in the lay bin.
Sulks?
Oh,
did you say Sulks?
Sulkin of Sydney. Sulks is in the lay bin. He called me up a couple of days ago. Tommy, public holiday Thursday. The Sultan doesn't work, public holidays.
Did he refer to himself in the third person?
Yeah.
Because I rate that. I rate that a lot.
The Sultan doesn't work public holidays, apparently, so he's in the lay bin. The producer, well, not the producer, but the guy that helps behind the scenes, Carlos Tevez. He came on the Brownlow Medal show. You've never seen a bloke waltz around, chest out, promote his own show 3 times more the promotion of the Brownlow show than any other show that in the history of Betfair. He's pumped it out everywhere. He's a bit of me time. He's loving it.
So then gone back to the bosses and said the numbers are up on the views.
Get me on more.
But it was promoted 5 times as much.
Get me on more. He was.
Oh, Carl, get in the bin. Get in the bin,
I've got plenty
Carl.
more. You go now. Come on.
Well, I travelled yesterday. And travelling's always a good one for getting things for the lay-in.
Airports, you could find plenty.
So left home at 4 a.m. but flew back in at 10. So I got back into Canberra Airport and bars that don't have a normal beer. So I'm laying these bars that have got 75 different types of XPA, ale, craft, Faguzi, Fugazi, Woozy, Wazzy, craft beer, crap. I wanted a normal beer. Like just anything, even something that I moderately recognised.
What's your go-to?
Like Asahi, Carlton Draft, Peroni, Corona. Like it doesn't matter. Melbourne. You just give me a normal beer. So then you have to ask them, and you feel like you're an idiot because you say, "Can I have something, please?" Because you don't know what any of these 75 rare, brewed
sour beers,
hop things, that you need to eat with a spoon come from, and then you say, "Can you give me something that is, reminiscent of a Carlton Draft?" And they look at you like you're infected with something. Get in the bin. Bars just at least have 2 normal beers as backup, and then I might stay there or people might stay there. Craft beers nearly fully in the bin, but yeah,
all right,
gee
come
whiz.
On. Anything else? Gee whiz.
Yeah, I
fire up, mate.
Well, have we gone down the path of people standing up on, like going past you on planes, trying to get off before you from the seats behind?
We haven't.
Have we laid that?
That's definitely in the lay bin.
If you're on a plane and the seats in front of you clear and get off the plane first, you don't. Some guy last night, 4 seats back. I was waiting, letting a lady out on my side. He went to go. I just put the leg out, said, you can hold it right there, buddy. You should know the rules. Get in the bin. Absolutely get in the bin.
Did you clap when the plane landed, mate? You seem like that kind of operator.
No, mate, I did not. Hire cars. When you get a hire car, right?
There's more.
When you get a hire car and then they give you a code to scan out of the hire car place and you go all the way out, you get in your car and you go all the way out and you're snaking you down 4 levels and you get to the gate, which is only one way, and you scan the code and you can't get out, lay bin. Get your codes right. They're all travel related because I did it yesterday.
I've got so much more for the lay bid. I think we'll have to tune into SEN during the week.
One more quick one, though.
Oh, here we go.
One more quick one. The Queen's death, it's obviously sad, but people that are
I don't know where this is going.
people that are getting videos of themselves laying flowers and they're doing the 3, 2, 1. Yeah, go. And then they need to pay their respects, but they need to show that they're paying respects. Get in the bin. Go sit flowers down there and pay your respects without telling the world about it. Absolute joke.
Putting social media in the bin, you're fired up.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, right. More winners, please.
Yeah, he hasn't obviously found a winner this week, old Fitzy. He's coming in
I
hot.
had a monster last week.
Ah, here we go. All right, let's get to Rosehill, one of our favourite races, and it's only worth $1 million. That is in the lay bin itself, the Golden Rose. How is this race only worth $1 million? You see the best 3-year-olds line up year on year, and the Golden Eagle's worth $15 million more or whatever. Absolute joke. Get in the lay bin. We get to Rosehill. Plenty of weather around Friday, Thursday, a bit on Saturday. Rail in the true. Interesting to see how the track plays, but I reckon it'll be in the heavy range. Miles, and we start with race 7, the Group 2 Golden Pendant over 1,400 metres. It's a really good race. Which way are you siding?
Nice race this. There's some good horses in here. We've mentioned Star Tontes before around other races. I think it might find this one just a little bit too sharp. Really impressed with a horse called Jamia. You know that I always go down the Jamia part, but that run at Rosehill last start.
Second favourite horse behind Kiss on All Four Cheeks?
No, it was superb. Now, if it goes into the heavy range, this is where you've got to adjust here. Soft 5 currently. If this goes
Huge concern for me.
Yep. If it goes in the heavy range, you can let it go. But if it doesn't, I'm going to be playing Jamia a little bit. There's another horse in here called Nimalee for Matty Smith and Regan Bayliss. Now, can handle the heavy, can handle good going, pretty versatile. Trial I liked at Hawkesbury. Randwick before that, it was only 2 lengths off Zaki and Ice Bath. That form line would stack up in here any day of the week. But wait for this, mate. I'm going to do it again. And I was right last time, and I'm going to be right again. Espiona, you can get in the lay bin. Overhyped, has been for some time. 3 from 7, remember, it won that last one on a heavy deck at Randwick by 4.5 when it beat Party for 1. If this goes to a full heavy, I'm not going to lay it as hard because I think it may even just be a genuine, just love it, superbly wet. But gate 15, overhyped, Espiona, lay.
The good thing about her, if you're keen on her, she's got those SP profiles, so she's short. They'll keep her short in the market.
People continuously back this horse off essentially one win.
But they also, a lot of people take market into calculations when they're doing their algorithms and the data and stuff like that. So she will ultimately, these horses that start short and have that boom will just continue to start short.
Espiona's best race was in behind Fangirl, and that was on the 12th of Feb, right? So since then, the other ones haven't been that great. I think they've even got progressively worse. So beat nothing in that Party for 1 race. I'm lay.
I think people can still remember the listed win at Flemington's second start when she absolutely annihilated her rivals. But I agree. I think she's unders. I'm with Nimalee on top. So we got Shirako with seven of these come through the events, the Shirako. Electric Girl was okay there, had the perfect running behind the leader. Loved the run of Palazapan and Star Tontes. Both of those worked home really well. Star Tontes tracked wide and ran the fastest final 200 metres of that event. She did look to peak a little bit late, but probably entitled to given the tough run and worked wide. Palazapan was very strong to the line. Loved the way she's going. Rawilla on, but barrier 17 does her no favours. Espiona, obviously high horse, probably too short. Maya Whisper was okay late, but Nimalee just brings that different form. Was fantastic in a tramway. I think that's the right race. Beaten by 2 stars. It was a really high rating performance. We can talk about ratings later, Fitzy. Awkward Barrier, which makes things tricky. I think she's a better horse with a suck run and cover. That's the only concern, but different form line. I think she's the value in the race, and I'm happy to be with her.
Well, your line again.
It's amazing. It is amazing. All right.
Well, here we go.
Golden Rose, the Group 1, 1,400 metres. What a race it is. I find the favourite In Secret very hard to beat, Fitzy, but I'm very intrigued as to where you go.
In Secret's flying. You can't go past the Godolphin stable at the moment. It's done nothing wrong. Hasn't let me down. Look, even when it ran in behind Zoo Gotcha, I mean, all that's going to be like stacks right up. Drawn superbly, good jock. I don't know how much more I can say. You know that's biggest danger? Stablemate. Golden Mile, Sam Clipperton. I think really if you want to back two horses in the race, you just stick with Godolphin Blue and don't worry about the others. I know She's Extreme's a good horse. Jacquinot probably has to be respected. And I mean, that form line stacks up a little bit too, more so with rolling Aft Cabin, and we've seen what Aft Cabin was able to do just on the weekend gone. Yeah. So I'd be In Secret, Golden Mile, Jacquinot. If you back all three, I don't think you're going to miss. But if you want to shorten it up to, you know, maybe leave Jacquinot out. Big call, but In Secret should be winning this.
My numbers in the Golden Rose: 16 In Secret from 3 Jacquinot, 7 Golden Mile, 4 Sir Jardin.
I'd be nearly exactly the same.
I think Jacquinot's the bet in the race at the price. I think he's a great value at $8, $9. I think it's the way to play. He brings that half cabin form, which is superb form now. Just don't want it really heavy for him. That's the concern. Really interestingly, the fillies were dominant in their 2-year-old season. They probably continue to be. We've seen Zugotcha win. Obviously, In Secret won the lead up in superb fashion. So no filly has won this race since it's been run in the spring. Paratroopers was the only filly to win the Golden Rose, and that was in the autumn due to EI. So they haven't got a good record. Obviously, the numbers, there's always less fillies in it than colts. But this year, I wouldn't be surprised if the fillies win. So In Secret, dominant win last start. She's got to be the horse to beat. I think Jacquinot's the bet at $8 or $9. Golden Mile comes into calculations. And the other one's Sir Jardin. Sir Jardin actually started shortest price out of all of those in the Golden Rose. I thought he did enough last start. Could never win where he was. I thought he found the line all right. Might be the best value for your multiples there. Sir Jardin gets through the wet okay. So 16, 3, 7, 4.
They're the only ones I'd be including in a quaddie, those numbers. So, but yeah, you can shop around and do your maths here, but I'm exactly the same. I just think Golden Mile's the same as Jacquinot.
Very intrigued as to your thoughts in the Group 2 Shannon Stakes, 1,500 metres. They all come through the Theo Marks. Bunch finished there. I don't know what to do with that race. Ellsberg was unlucky. There was a lot of unlucky horses. We had Rustic Steel unlucky, Big Boy Roy, a tissue come through the race. Before I give you my tip in the Shannon Stakes, where are you tipping?
Look, I think there's a couple here. I find this one really, really difficult, to be honest.
It is difficult.
I think probably if we take it on a reasonable surface, the 10 and the 11 come right into it around the $6 and $7 mark, and that's Surf Dancer and Old Flame. I think they're both drawn okay. They're both horses that don't want it too heavy. So that would be the play if the track's probably drying or on the better side of heavy, of course. But if it's wet...
We're in Sydney, you won't be.
Yeah, if it's wet, the one that you need to play is Mount Popper up the top. Now, I know it hasn't had a run at the distance before. It's got an unbelievable heavy record. Really like the trial at Hawkesbury. You go back a couple of the runs on the heavier decks. It was in around some really, really nice horses. I think it'll be enough to win this. I'm going to do it again. I'm taking Ellsberg to the lay-bin. And I'm taking Ellsberg on.
You're laying Ellsberg?
I can lay Ellsberg here. Looks never 1 second up from 3 goes. I know it does like it wet. The track and trip record's only 2 from 5. I just didn't think it went well enough in behind that Kaiku and Mr. Mozart race, and I laid it there, and I'm going to lay it again. So, I mean, you've got to...
Kaiku?
Well, Kiku. How do you pronounce it? Kiku.
I don't want
Kaiku. Haikuya. You know what I mean. Kaikuya, whatever. I think with lays, you can just go and lay horses you don't think win right. But I think with lays, especially with what we do, you've got to make a statement. And we did it the other week, and so that's why Espiona and Ellsberg can get in the lay bin.
I think our lays are flying too between you, me and Salts. We haven't had a winner recently, so we're doing all right.
That sounds funny, but it's good if we haven't had a...
We haven't had a lay that's won.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've come up with the horse that I like as well here, Mount Popper. You've checked my run sheet here. You've just copied me.
One if wet. See this? One if wet.
It will be wet. Absolute wet tracker. Trialled well at Hawkesbury. I can't believe this horse has come up such a big price, Mount Popper. He's not a horse that I've liked at all in his campaign, but fresh last campaign, he was only 2.82 lengths off Very Elegant at Wait for Age over 1,600 metres. 1,500 metres short of his best, but wetter the better. Class horse. He's trialling really well. trial win at Hawkesbury was good. He led there and showed speed. I think he's fresh. Willie Pike had a couple of winners Wednesday. Might be starting to be back in form.
I just want to ask you this. Is from gate 13, is be midfield or a bit worse than midfield? You just don't want Piker to get in that habit of on a genuine heavy deck, if it's that heavy, to get too far back and have too much to do. You'd need him to be a little bit more prominent, and we've maybe seen with a couple of these rides that he's been, I'll get back and I'll come home, and they just hasn't quite got there or been caught 3 deep. And
yep.
So we just want him to be a little bit more positive.
Interesting to see how the track plays. He's got to find a position there from the outside barrier. But Mount Papa showed a bit of speed in that 1,000-metre trial at Hawkesbury, so hopefully kept fresh, can find a right spot. No idea what Hawks do. They hate wide barriers as well, the Hawks team. So, yeah, we'll see what the intent is there, but at the price he's about. Ellsberg was good last start. As you said, he's yet to win second up, but he's run some good races in group class company. 3 seconds second up. It's not as if he's plateaued considerably second up. So I didn't like the way Ellsberg trialled leading into this campaign compared to previous campaigns. I don't think he trialled as well, and it might have showed. I thought he was a little bit plain. He wasn't beaten far, but I've just really no idea what to make of that Theo Marks. It was a race that we were heavy in Mr. Mozart's corner. We had Salts playing the jazz flute, all sorts happening.
It's a good little gift, that.
Bunch, it was a good gift. Bunch finish, a lot of unlucky horses. Yeah, I went looking for different horses. Kerwin's Lane can run well. Mount Popper can run well. Pinarello's off a Derby prep, and I think it can run well. So I'm going against the Theo Marks a little bit. I've got Mount Popper on top.
I can't believe we've lined up on a
$20 shots.
Yeah,
this show.
Unbelievable.
All right, mates. We've got to quicken up this show, but what did you make of the Brownlow? Well, I'll talk to you about the Brownlow wash-up. All right. So just Cripps got to $500 at one point when he got suspended on Betfair. Traded out. So someone's laid.
If someone out there took that, you're a genius.
Poor person that laid it at 500s and got off. Amazing. We saw Lockie Neal come in to $1.15 on the night, get rolled. All sorts of drama on the count.
Well, that's where we've spoken about it on the Betfair shows.
Yes.
That we went Neal early and we took the 20s price, right? And then what we had to do essentially was wait to some point to later. A lot of people now multied Neal as well into premiers and whatnot. But if you saw that on the night that I was tweeting, when he hit $1.61, I went, right, now it's time to lay him out. A lot of people took it. You could still make the money. Then he looked like he was going to win and then rolls into the last round. And I actually happened to call that game, I'm pretty sure, the Brodie Smith game against...
Oh, round 20?
Yeah, round 20. And, wow.
Yeah,
You've got something to say here. Say it.
No, I just...
Say it. We said it on Twitter.
He clearly... Cripps clearly wasn't best on ground, but he was probably best on ground round 1 and didn't get the 3.
But missed so, one vote.
Swings and roundabouts, but that was defining... As soon as he got 3 there in a 29-point loss... Brodie Smith had 1,000 metres gained and 37 possessions, 28 kicks if you don't mind. He was clearly the best on ground in my opinion. But it's all about opinions.
You're a Crow supporter too, so...
Well, I watched the games closely and he was clearly the best on ground. Cripps is good. Probably deserved the one Cripps, but anyway.
Geez, I was banking... I was just hoping it was... He just got the 2
I love
and then we got the tie.
I love a bit of clickbait too.
They would have come for you. But
Salts chimed in.
It's people going... You don't need to complain now that Cripps won the Brownlow and the suspension and that. If they gets off the suspension, he wins a Brownlow, Well done to him. And you know what? It was actually tipped on the WA Betfair Edge by his brother and Terry Layton. They both got on and got a price. So, well done.
There you go.
Cripper and Terry.
There you go. All right. Enough of that. Let's get stuck into Sandown Hillside on Sunday. Group 1 racing continues. A huge weekend continues. We start with, we'll do races 7, 8 and 9. We'll do it quickly. Group 1 Underwood Stakes. What a clash this is. We've got Zaki, Mr. Brightside. I'm Thunderstruck. The 3 key chances.
Don't forget Alligator Blood.
Alan
Endress will be out there. He'll be commenting on this on Twitter. Alan, we haven't forgotten it. Chill out.
Who are you with in the Group 1, 1,800 metres? Zaki. Yes.
Now, I'm super impressed with I'm Thunderstruck. The money's come early. My only query about I'm Thunderstruck is it's 1,800 metres. And I know the horse has been up over 2,000, but the horse has never had a go at the trip. And I know how to run it. But I just think this might be a niche trip for a horse like Zaki that's 4 from 5 at 1,800 metres. Now, my small query on this race is a smaller field, and tactics come into play. Jamie Carr, good decision maker normally. Look, I think it's going to be a bit of a cycling race, this. They're going to wait and see who pours it in. If it's not in, then someone else will pour it in. Alligator Blood, you'd think, could probably take it up. Maybe a horse like Mr. Brightside or Nonconformist to be up sitting around it. The others will sit. If there's no speed, move up. Thunderstruck's probably the best horse, I think.
Do you reckon?
Moving forward, I think probably if you had if you had to pick between Zaki and Thunder now for the rest of their careers, if you had to take them now for the rest of their careers, which one are you taking?
You'd think
you're taking the 8-year-old gelding, Zaki, or you're taking the 5-year-old on Thunderstruck?
Comes down to age, right?
Yep.
But right now, who's a better horse?
Well, I think Zaki wins this.
There you
But
go.
Thunder, that win, it had no right. I took it on. We got the map right last start. It was going to get caught back the fence. Everything that we thought was going to happen in that race happened, and it still won.
Yep.
So nothing taking away from it, but I just don't think it's going to pan out that well this time with a superstar like Zaki. I reckon it's Zaki's time here. Tables might get turned in the Cox Plate maybe, but these are the two. This is your Cox Plate race, isn't it? Really?
Yep.
These are the two.
My play in the race is lay Mr. Brightside at $5. I think that's too short. I think Zaki or Thunderstruck win. Interesting, Fitzy. These three met in a All-Star Mile, the three big guns. Zaki beat Thunderstruck. Mr. Brightside ran fourth, 3.5 lengths away, if you don't mind. The market read Zaki $2.60, Thunderstruck $9, Mr. Brightside $26. So there's an indication. The SP profile people out there will look at that as I did and say, on the back of that, Zaki's got to start favourite. And I know it was a while ago, but Mr. Brightside then came out, won at Doncaster, but meets Thunderstruck some 5 kilos worse for that victory. So I'm happy to be against Mr. Brightside here at $5. I'm laying him. I'm very confident that Zaki or Thunderstruck are better horses and will beat him. And
you could just box them up, the 1 and 2. Thunderstruck and Zaki. They're better than the rest here, aren't they?
Yeah. Zaki's been known to get beat short price as well. You said this a couple of weeks ago on SEN. If he got rolled first up in that tramway, then...
But that's the thing. He only gets rolled at a short quote when they don't pay, like when something goes awry with something. Like Hugh to beat him with Maximal and that when they were up at Eagle Farm going the other way.
Yep.
Like, you remember this horse was $2 for a Cox Plate when Animo and State of Rest won it. $2. At $2 a long way out. He's a proper horse. I think he's right. He goes second up here where he's 3 from 7. He's 4 from 5 at the trip. He probably wins this and maybe the tables get turned, but you can box him up. I'm not going to launch Zaki against Thunderstruck. He's a star.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting one.
Well, I think the play there as well, Fitzy. Lay Mr. Brightside if you like both of those two to beat him. So lay
agreed.
Mr. Brightside $5. That's probably the play for me. I'm with Zaki on top. Group 3 Sandown Stakes, 1,500 metres. Really good race. Pinstripe goes into the race a narrow favourite. Which way are you leaning?
Pinstripe got to be respected. Horse is airborne. Goes second up here for Enver Yusufovic. And
Well
Mickey D
pronounced.
draws.
Well pronounced.
Yeah, I make sure I always get that right when I had him on the shows. A few people butcher it. Another one you got to include is military expert Annabelle Neesham. Don't say it. Annabelle Neesham and Jamie Carr.
I had to laugh. You
draws-
said
shuts
Jamie
up.
Carr's a good decision maker before. I had a little chuckle to myself.
No,
I assume you're talking about on the horses.
yes, of course I am. Unbelievable. We're cutting that bit out. Right. Third up here, military expert. I can't wipe the smile off my face. 54 kilos. This horse is going superbly. Super win at the Valley. I don't like Moonee Valley form. I normally scrap it, but it savaged it. The win before at Caulfield, superb, beat El Rocco, got a lot of time for El Rocco. Horse is flying, Annabelle's flying, money on early, military expert to beat Pinstriped, and I think you've got to include Dragon Leap from Gentleman Roy. They're the 4 for me, but military expert on top.
Pinstripes clearly on top for me. Savage to the line last start. Ran fastest 600, 400, 200 of the entire program, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
just
fine.
had no right to do what he did. The tempo was genuine, but the leader kicked clear and Pinstripe just couldn't win. He's a real line chaser. I love that. I think Sandown suits him perfectly. The long straight. He ran home in 11.8, final 200 metres there. Enormous run. I think he's the horse to beat. Dragon Leap was good in the Memsey. Gentleman Roar's going well. Good win last start. 3 weeks off. Jump out was okay since. But Pinstripe for me in the Sandown Stakes.
No military expert for you?
Not for me.
Oh.
I've got my money off Military Expert in the last 2 starts, and now it's time to jump on Pinstripes.
Well, now it's time to jump on one, and you can jump on here.
Well, it's about time we've clashed, had a difference in opinion.
Oh, we have a difference here.
No, but the previous
military expert.
Yeah. All right. He's talking about race 9, the listed Testarossa Stakes, 1,300 metres, and who are you? I assume you're with I Wish I Win?
I wish I win, and you will win. Only danger's Ayrton, box of 2 up. Don't worry about any of the others in the race. They are no chance. If you want to lay anything else, lay them. I Wish I Win will beat Ayrton, and they will be 3.5 clear of the next horse. Ayrton's their only shock, but I know the first up record's elite by Ayrton, but I reckon we're into a proper horse here with I Wish I Win. And he goes second up here. Gate 11, take the exacta, back I Wish I Win. If people want to challenge you and say it doesn't win, get them to put a price up on Betfair and go and take it.
Oh, if you don't like it, lay it.
Yeah, but on top, be the best there.
There you go. I can't argue. I think he's the horse to beat. I Wish I Win. Not much else in the race. He's race fit and was going to start favourite in a Group 1 start.
It's the Quinella of the decade.
Wow. Okay.
Well, there's no other horses getting anywhere near them.
We'll quote that. All right. We'll do this very quickly.
Okay.
Just some education stuff back to school. Anything you want to talk about? Some advice for punters in the spring?
I think we're getting into that time of year where a lot of people that aren't probably into racing as much become more interested. And I think when that happens, you can get overloaded with information that's a little bit unnecessary. So we were talking off air about maybe a little
unnecessary. Yeah.
Well, a bit of a spring guide, as in don't let too much information crowd you in regards to what you want to do or how you want to go about your form. Now, if you're watching this or you're watching or listening to other programs, you're going to hear a lot about people talk about their ratings or other rating systems. Now, there's like hundreds of different types of rating systems.
Yeah, ratings at the end of the day still opinions, a lot of them.
Yeah,
obviously.
so I wanted to probably use this education part about that a lot of people get involved. They'll start listening to podcasts, racing shows, shows like this, where you can get caught up in rating systems and, someone says, no, it's on top on their ratings. Now, that means absolutely nothing. It means nothing because on their ratings could be different to the next guy's ratings, which are different to the next guy's ratings. It's, in my opinion, and a lot of these tipsters and form analysts out there are going to come for me, it's absolute crap. It is just, if you like a horse, you've done your form, that you don't have to go too deep and start listening to too much outside noise. Be confident in your ability to find one, stick with your confidence and go that way. Because I think in spring you get a lot of people that, you get post-race experts, you get a lot of tipsters that come from nowhere that don't do the form all year. You get people that'll buy tips, which you just don't need to do. You get people that have got rating systems and rating surveys, and that can stack up. You can overload yourself with too much information. And if there's one bit I can give anyone to educate them for the spring is just back yourself, find 1 or 2 people that you want to talk to and align yourself with or discuss and go that way. But don't get overloaded on ratings, and all this sort of overhype of times and all this sort of stuff.
I think what you're trying to say is clarity is important. You need to know what you're good at, what you do well.
I didn't say that very clearly, did
yourself. You potted everyone, and then.
Well, I didn't pot everyone. It's all relative to opinion.
Yeah, no. Obviously you're not potting ratings people. If you've got a rating system or whatever, and I use ratings as well, you just got to use them how best works for you. If you're listening and if you're a casual punter and new to the game, don't get sucked in. Have clarity, do your form, find out who you want to listen to, and follow that in. Don't get.
But that's the point. You use a rating system, but that's a rating system for you.
Yeah. Correct.
What I'm saying is you don't want other people to be like, if they go and listen to 4 tipsters and 2 have got it on top in their ratings and 2 are underneath, it confuses them. That's because it's their ratings. So their ratings are theirs. I just don't get too carried away. If you like something, go and back it. And if you think something won't win, go and lay it.
I like it. All right, let's get to your best bets and best lays, Fitzy.
Best bets. Well, we'll go Sandown. Race 9, number 4, I Wish I Win. I think I Wish I Win's just going to be too strong there. And the best bet there will just box that up with Ayrton. I mean, we'll whack that in however you want to do it.
Yep.
They're the only 2 in that race. I I'll do it. Let's go to Moonee Valley Friday night. Yeah, race 8, number 1, Kiss on All Four Cheeks. You just back the best horses in the race, and I'll take it. If I went to Rosehill, I think the best bet there will be race 8, number 16, In Secret.
You've got a lot of bets, mate.
Well, it's each track, aren't we? One
go
best
for
on
it,
each
yeah.
track.
Why
Yeah.
not? Why
Best
not?
bet up there will probably be In Secret. I mean, value's going to be, there's probably a few there. Lays, Espiona and Ellsberg. My
There you
two
go.
lays of the day.
Huge day for Fitzy. My best, race 6 at Rosehill, number 1, Best of Bordeaux. I think it's going to be very hard to beat. I think Cadre du Noir is going to be very hard to beat as well. Race 4, number 1, very hard to beat.
I've
You've got
written
that?
Cadre du Noir best, but I thought I'd just save that one for later.
Best lay, race 6, number 7, Macram at Moonee Valley Friday night. I also think Mr. Brightside won't win, so I'm happy to lay Mr. Brightside as well at Sandown Sunday, mate. That'll do us.
That's it. I probably gave out too many, but who cares?
Who cares? Good luck on the punts. Gamble responsibly and have a great weekend. Watch the grand final.
Are you going?
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see how we go.
If anyone out there has got a ticket, just let me know.
Enjoy a huge weekend. Thank you, and gamble responsibly. Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858.